Arias for Kevin.
Yeah, good run there the other week at Pontefract. We kicked well clear of the third. We've gone up £4 as a result of that, but hopefully he'll step forward on that run. And
is he stall 3?
Yeah, he's in stall 3. Few of the fancied horses around there. I've actually walked the track there before. I don't think it's. I actually thought it might be better down the middle. So we're drawn out there, so we'll be keeping it simple. And you'd looking at probably your main danger, Ed Bethel's. His horses are flying, and it is a wide open race in that. But yeah, hopefully we'll step forward from Ponty.
Yeah, that Ed Bethel horse, Mountain Warrior, Ed's in great form. He won it yesterday at Haydock. But again, as Tom says, all the fancied horses are drawn low. The favourites drawn in stall 1. I thought David Allen for Tim Easterby and Braveheart Boy, who missed the break before finishing 4th at Ripon, maybe from a higher draw, stall 11 against the rail. So tentative in an open race, Braveheart Boy.
Yeah, fair enough. No strong opinion. That was, if Tom likes this, I'm happy to go with that. 4:45 race for the Phillies. It's competitive, full field for this Phillies handicap. Jo Mason's on Casilli. What can you tell us about her?
Yeah, she might be a small horse, but she's got a big heart. She's got great form around Beverley, so the uphill finish here shouldn't seem to bother her. It is her first run of the season, so again, she'll come on for whatever the run. But I'm hoping for probably a good each way chance, really. But again, it's a competitive race.
I think we have more favourites winning at Musselburgh for a Sky Bet Sunday series than we've had before. So in some ways, they were easier to find than they sometimes are. But these meetings are ultra competitive. Gordon, what was your view on the Phillies race?
I thought it was tricky. Maybe number 3 Nigua for Callum Rodriguez. He's picking up a lot of rides, isn't he, for Ed Bethel? Didn't have the best of rooms when finishing 5th at Newcastle, but I thought it was a tough race. You got a view?
Yeah, I thought it was a wide open race. Yeah, no view on it really. Not in it.
I'm going to mention à la Francais, who is outsider of the field for Cam Hardy and Jim Goldie. The race at Musselburgh, the whole meeting at Musselburgh, you couldn't get into it from out the back. No. She got no run, she was right at the back. She's a course winner. That did come over further, but I thought she was overpriced as outside of the field, and she'll probably finish 4th, so there we are. Moving on to the 5:15. Are you in that, Joe, or is Tom? I haven't loaded it out. Oh, Tom's in that. Right, we've got Shaladar here in this mile handicap. What do you make of Shaladar, Tom?
Yeah, comes here off a good run at his first run back at Redcar. He's got the cheek pieces back on today. He's got good course form around here. Yep. He's versatile with ground, and there looks to be pace to run at in the race, which is important for him. So hopefully have a good run.
I think I worked with Amy when he was winning here one day. He's a handsome horse, I think she said.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, and touch wood, he's been.
The horse or the jockey?
Both.
They complement each other.
Really?
I think if Amy's saying handsome, she's talking about the horse.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, listen, he's a consistent horse. Like I say, he's a cheek pieces back on, and hopefully step forward from Redcar. His first run back, and there's pace in the race. It's a competitive race. It's wide open, but pace is important to him, so hopefully we'll go close.
Of course, we've got a winner from the opening Sky Bet series on a session who's gone up 6th for winning cosily for Nicola and David Barron.
Yeah, I thought we won really nicely on that occasion. I don't think the step up in distance will be a bother. But then you've got Pisanello in there, who I thought was pretty obvious off the back of the run in the First Cup. Dutch Decoy's a course and distance winner. I wouldn't worry from the yard if they don't show their best in the build up to this. I thought this might be the plan. My pin came down on Dutch Decoy, Gordon. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it on a session and only going up 6, but I thought he won a bit cosily at Musselburgh. Pisanello, I think, could be the one. As you say, stuck on really well in the First Cup. Never really get involved that day. And there's pace here as well. There was pace that day which dragged them into the race, so I'd probably go for Pisanello, but I think the horse that won in the opening day at Musselburgh a couple of weeks ago will go close to the top weight on a session.
Rock Melody is the mount of is a ride for Jo Mason in the next. Paul Mulrennan was here 2 weeks ago, or at Musselburgh 2 weeks ago, saying this was his best chance of a winner, and it didn't happen. So what can you tell us about Rock Melody?
Yeah, obviously I've not ridden him, but looking at his form, running for Kevin Phillip Defoe. He's got some form over 6 and 7, dropped to 5, and he's actually run 2 good races really for Jim. Probably not getting the clearest of run-ins, having to take a wider route at Musselburgh and staying on well. So look, again, the uphill finish here at the 5, I think should suit him, and likes a bit of the cut in the ground, will go well on it, and hopefully could again be a good each way chance. But you're coming up against the thin blue line and a few of them horses that ran well at Musselburgh the last time.
Yeah, when they went hell for leather up top, and it suited a closer. Could I ask you both about the draw here? Do you want to be up against the stands rail, or do you not think necessarily? What are your views?
I think it obviously depends on the ground, isn't it, really? I think sometimes on softer ground we head towards the middle, really, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, stalls the stand side, so obviously the majority will stay there. But like I said, I walked the track before, and I actually thought it might be marginally better in the middle, really. But
I tell you what I've noticed the last couple of seasons here, I don't know if you've got a view on this, Joe, even though all the stalls are on the stand side, there's a sort of metre or two that no one wants to go towards the stand side rail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, a lot of the time it depends where the pace and where the fancied horses go, and then where they win, then everyone seems to follow after, sort of that, But exactly. But actually walking it, I thought the middle was okay.
Well, that's good. I quite like Spoof, who I think is really solid in here, and I wonder if stall 1 being perceived as a possible negative was built into the price, but because I thought 4-1 was very fair, progressive. Billy Loughnane takes off 3. We know that's going to be a good thing, and Monsieur Cody in the thin blue line, Gordy. They were suited by how the race was run last time. I'm not sure it'll be an absolute pace meltdown this time.
No, I mean it was a career best from the thin blue line, who came from off the pace to win at Musselburgh. I think he was third in this race last year from memory. Spoof has not gone up that much, I don't think, for those wins at Windsor and Ascot. Won at a slightly bigger price. Object, formerly trained by Martin Mead, first couple of runs this season for Tim Easterby. He might just be learning the job a bit. A bigger price would go for Object, who's got quite a nice draw, in my opinion, in stall 10. But as the guys have been saying, I think you can. Sometimes you have a nice draw and you're a hold-up horse, so it doesn't matter that you're drawn well. I think a good draw is only important to him if you can make full use of it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And like I say, I don't think there's much bias here today anyway. So it's just where the pace of the race ends up going.
Staying contest up next, Mr. Camacho is your ride for Mick and David. Won well on him last time.
Yeah, maybe a bit too well, as been told by my granddad and uncle. But look,
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Did you get 7? Yeah.
Yeah. It obviously was heavy ground, and he does go very well on heavy. It's obviously not heavy today. A lot more horses will go better on good to soft. And if it is saying like it is, riding probably a bit better than good to soft. The amateur race that they first ran in at the beginning of the season has come out well. Captain Haddock is yet to run, and I think he's probably one to watch, who was a fast finisher there. I do think the Liam Bailey horse in that race, the ground probably wasn't soft enough and might not be soft enough for Clansman. I think he likes it bottomless as well. Look, I hope he'd run a good race. The trip would suit him, the uphill finish would suit him, and he just keeps galloping, and he's just a genuine honest horse. So again, I hope he could run a really good race as well.
I think that horse got a great chance. Ravenscraig Castle was another one to reverse form with Fair Mac. I'll probably end up backing Ravenscraig Castle personally at the prices, Gordon.
1-2 from last year in this race. High Zoom, who scrambled home by a neck from Captain Haddock. She's not been in great form since then. High Zoom, she won off a similar mark last year. I tend to agree with what Tom was saying about Fairmac and Ravenscraig Castle. What was it, 2.5 lengths between them at Musselburgh? Yeah. The winner's gone up 5. Ravenscraig is on better terms here. I would probably go for Ravenscraig Castle to reverse the form. He's a good horse, and he still is a good horse. I think as a 3-year-old, he was third in the Melrose, Ravenscraig Castle at York. So I think a lot of them.
Yeah, okay, well, we're in agreement there, so that's probably a tip in itself. Thunder Roar is the last horse we're going to be focusing on with Tom. Rides this horse in the 6:45. It's a middle distance handicap. Handicap debut. The mark is 76.
Yeah, lightly race horse. He had a real good run first time out on slow ground at Salisbury, and had a bit of time, let him strengthen up and everything, and he's coming here off back of a run on the all-weather the last day, and I'm hoping the step up in triple suit him. It certainly looks that way, the way he's sort of running, so yeah, hoping he run well.
Okay, Phelak's going to be very popular for punters here, I think, but the profile is obvious. I don't know, he's too obvious for me.
I'm going to be boring. I haven't tipped many favourites, but I think Phillies is a favourite that will go well and will win, in my opinion. I think in his days with, where was he, William Haggis, and then I think he was with Ewan Willens. At one time with William Haggis, he was rated 107. What's he racing off tonight? Well, and he's one off 95. He's just dropping down the weights, yeah. So he is dropping down the weights, and he was a good second in the buttonhook handicap here to Postilio. I don't know if you guys will hear that Roger Varian horse, who they think's going to be a proper staying, maybe listed class horse this year. So it was a good run for Jim Goldie, whom he's with now. So I'm going to go for Phelak, the obvious choice.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought there was a bit more juice in the price by Aquam. Cheap pieces first time, Yarder in good nick, and that was a good run last time. The horse has been holding his form very well, and Phelak was just a bit too short and too obvious for me. There we go. Thanks to those of you that have joined us on all the social channels, on the big screen out at the track at Hamilton as well, and we're going to be kicking off on Racing TV proper very soon. Don't forget, the last few races will be Hamilton in its entirety, so hopefully see you there. Tom, Eaves, Joe Mason, thank you for taking the time. Gordon, thanks as ever. Cheers all.
Thank you.
Cheers.